Verse number 8. Und Gott nannte den Raum Himmel. Es wurde Abend und Morgen, der zweite Tag. So this is the first verse where we know already nearly all the words. There's only one new word, which is zweite. And zweite means second, which is an adjective. In English, there's also another word called second, which is a 60th of a minute. In German, that would be Sekunde. But in this case, it just means second. But in this case, it just means second, as in the one that comes after the first. And other than that, everything should be already known if you followed the previous episodes. So, und Gott nannte den Raum Himmel. And God called the space or room heaven. Es wurde Abend und Morgen, der zweite Tag. It was evening and morning, the second day. And God called the space heaven. It was evening and morning, the second day. And by the way, in our translation, they put these quotation marks around Himmel. Of course, these did not exist in the original manuscripts, but I think this is to point out that this is the new name for the space that was defined in the earlier verses. When we hover over the footnote in the ESV, it says that heaven can also mean sky. This is because heaven and sky have the same word in Hebrew. It's also the same word in German, actually. So we can have theological debates about what Himmel means, but most people agree that the Bible uses this word for three different things. So three meanings of Himmel. The first one would be the place where birds and planes fly, which would be Himmel equals sky. Then the place where sun, moon and stars are, which would also be Himmel equals sky, but sometimes you would refer to it as Weltraum, which would be outer space. Sometimes it includes the earth and sometimes it doesn't. It depends on the context. And then finally there is the invisible spiritual place where God reigns. This is where good people go after death. And this is the Himmel equals heaven. So just like Raum can mean either space or room, Himmel can also have multiple meanings, heaven or sky. Sometimes, especially in Old English texts, you will notice that the English word heaven was used for both meanings, heaven and sky back in the days. So I assume that the English word heaven and Himmel probably have the same origin in some way. And now regarding the sentence structure, in the first sentence we have a subject, a verb, and an object, and in this case this is an accusative object. We know this because of the word den Raum, which when we look on our table we see den Mann. So Raum is masculine because der Raum, and when it's den then it is an accusative. And accusative is the case that we need with the verb nannte or nennen, which is calling. And then finally in the second verse we have the word wurde as our verb. And Abend und Morgen, der zweite Tag, is our subject. And by the way, you probably noticed that this is the same sentence structure that we had in verse number 5. Es wurde Abend und Morgen, der erste Tag. But in this case, it is der zweite Tag, so the second day.